The next thing I'll do is I'll draw out. So in SketchUp, if you already have a boundary, if it's a closed boundary, if I draw a line in between, anywhere between the closed boundaries, okay, I'll have to be inside the object first. And I'm going to hit D, you guys know, to hide everything else. If you draw a line anywhere in between a closed loop of lines, it automatically generates a surface. So this becomes surface 1, surface 2, surface 3. Now all of this is becoming incredibly fast because I managed to first draw out the boundaries on SketchUp before I even started. There's usually some edges that you will always find problematic, but what I'll ask you to often do is to just start drawing lines randomly and start seeing where do the surface generate and where do they not. So it seems like it's not generating a surface in this area, which means that somewhere over here things are not intersected correctly. If I just draw that line, it intersects there correctly, here also it didn't intersect correctly. So I'm just going to, and then I can just erase these lines. So that's my convention center block, my exhibition center, my admin. You see the admin is not generating overall, it might just be with the intersections that are happening over here that haven't completely intersected. There. So now I have my 3 separate surfaces, my exhibition center. I draw the lines of the academic block, the mock courtroom block. Okay, this seems to be some problem with this edge also. Okay, it's probably this corner over here. So this edge is done, this edge is done, and if you have a loop, you're gonna have to do at least 2 edges to try and get a full geometry, but again you can see it's not completely forming because of this edge over here. And then obviously I have the library mask. So I have my library mask, I have my court mask, I have a combination of department 2 and the PG block, department 1 and department 3, which is supposed to serve as future expansion. And so I have these main buildings that I have drawn out. Second, I don't particularly want to draw out the rest of the objects over there, so I'm going to leave that like that. But something that I will do directly on this model is that I can, B is the command for paint bucket to be able to drop colors. So I'll drop colors like gray to mark out all my roadways. Of course, not this entire area doesn't need to be a roadway. So I've marked the first level as roadways, and then I choose some other brighter color to indicate my hardscaped areas. So now more or less I think everything that is not building is going to be this. So I'm just quickly dropping color onto all of these spaces, so there's a more clear demarcation that I can see on my site when it comes to what is the built and what am I thinking of as pathways and quotes, etc. So I wanted to be connected across from this quote onto this quote connects onto that, this one goes over here onto this classroom, and that one goes and connects onto that classroom. There's just a few more surfaces that are left over here. And then I think originally also I was thinking that the admin block doesn't particularly need to be a fully developed block, and that there can be a strong passage that runs through it. So you can already see there's a certain sense of diagram that's coming about the site. I've also marked a boundary for my sports ground, so let me give that color. And ideally I would draw a boundary for the lawn space also that I'm giving over here, but something that I'm not going to touch yet. Now I'm only looking at these three very defined boundaries that you can draw in your design when it comes to placing it on the site.